I added permadeath to Pokemon, which has been done before, but let's be real for a second. Death comes in way more forms than just battling. You see, I got a hack idea from Droid called Pokemon Realistic Hard Mode, where you have no HUD and no idea what your Pokemon's health, stats, level, status, or moves are, which I threw together and that was cool. It made the game a little harder and more lifelike, more anime-esque, but Droid said the game was realistic. And personally, I think there's still a lot of things about this game that are unrealistic. So I got together with my chat and decided to take this a little bit further. One other idea I got from Scottish Man mentioned that your Pokemon have hunger meters, and they can go down every step you take, and you can restore it by feeding them. Another lifelike idea. So yes, Pokemon can die from starvation, and have their hunger refilled by feeding them berries, lava cookies, lemonade, rare candies. All food items can fill up your precious buddy's belly, and giving your Pokemon leftovers will prevent it from getting any hungrier while it's holding them. These food items can still only be used when they meet the item's criteria, like, I don't know, berry juice can only be fed to your Pokemon if it's missing HP. Pokeblock berries can always be used because they have no criteria, but they're not as filling as other food items. You're starving again? I just fed you! I don't want to waste steps in here because it's gonna make my fucking Marshtomp die. No! And what happens if you eat a lot of food? Well, at least in my experience,
you take a big mud pie.
So sometimes in battle... Don't take a potty break! What are you doing? Your Pokemon may skip a turn to relieve itself. Why would you take a when it's using Focus Punch? But what about medicine? What about vitamins? Well, I don't think these are filling by any means. I've never eaten like a Flintstones gummy vitamin and had to rub my big old belly and undo my belt buckle and take a big fat nap or anything like that. And it really isn't too realistic to force feed a bunch of performance enhancing drugs to your pet and make it incredibly ripped and strong and powerful, like, and all that. So I added another way to murder your beloved partners: drug toxicity. Taking too much of any medicine or any vitamin or even some kinds of berries at one given period of time can cause your Pokemon to overdose and die. So next time you want to skip over grinding battles out, think again. Think about your Pokemon's health, or maybe even consider the other Pokemon's health that you're battling to grind levels. Because look, let's be honest, you're playing as a 10-year-old kid running around in the woods all by yourself. These Pokemon are wild. And what do we know about wild critters? We know that a lot of animals carry diseases, including parasites or rabies. So you might want to pick up some repels at the mart, because your Pokemon might just pick up Pokerus.
But Chris,
you might be saying,
Pokerus is
good.
It makes our Pokemon
Stronger.
But in my world, I don't think I've ever heard of a lifelike virus that makes your Pokemon stronger. Hey, Chris Pichet here from another timeline, here to talk about bad things that can happen to you. Some of those bad things include scam calls or phishing emails, and I'm sure you've gotten a couple before. I've gotten a couple before, probably more than a couple, probably a couple dozen. And you might wonder, how do creepy crawly people get that information so they can send you those? And I know for a fact that one of the reasons is because big companies can't keep our data safe. Recently, Ticketmaster was hacked and 560 million users were put on the dark web. And that data included names, addresses, email addresses, credit card data, phone numbers. All these businesses are perfectly happy collecting our data, but they do nothing to protect it. And that's why I use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura alerts me when my data has been part of a data breach or leaked on the dark web. It gives me fast fraud alerts if anyone tries to use that data to access my credit or bank accounts. And it removes my information from data broker websites so I get less spam. And I literally used it this week. I used it to help protect my bank account this week, which is crazy and something I'm thinking about a lot. I also get things like transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, parental controls, and identity theft insurance. I get this all in one app at an affordable price. I'm not leaving myself or my family vulnerable to data breaches. And if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/Chris Pichet, also linked in the description, and try your first 2 weeks for free. And thank you to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Let's talk a little more about viruses. Pokerus actually permanently poisons your Pokemon, gets rid of all of its EVs, prevents it from ever getting EVs again, and makes it too sick to even want to eat or take any medicine. And it's contagious. Pokemon is contagious. It can spread this to any other Pokemon in your party. Now, you might be thinking,
Well, I can take my Pokemon to the hospital, right? Oh, they'll cure Pokérus for me.
but I've also never heard of an effective cure for rabies. So no, you can't cure Pokérus, ever. And even if you tried, you're an idiot, because healthcare isn't free, even if your treatment was a failure. Also, that was $1,500 to heal these Pokemon. So I hope your parents have good insurance.
Well, hey, I could put my Pokemon in the PC and that would cure it. That would fix the problem. And it's free.
And you might think you got me there. You found a loophole in the hack. No, Pokemon do not get healed for free in the PC. In fact, what a cruel idea for you to even suggest entrapping a Pokemon and shoving it in your digital freezer for the rest of its life. You're sick. Your Pokemon will get pissed if you leave them in the PC. They'll hate you. And if you really want to be the best there ever was, you probably want Pokemon that trust you and want to spend time with you and respect you. So for those that don't, they may just ignore your orders and rebel. A good trainer also knows their Pokemon's limits. If you send a weak Pokemon into battle against a really strong one, you're essentially threatening its life for your own gain. You monster! Your Pokemon might get terrified and freeze in place, unable to attack. How could you? Now, forget all of that. Forget all these things. Let's say you were a good trainer. You took good care of your Pokemon. They were healthy, they were happy, and they respected you. In fact, you treated them so well, they were set to live a very long life. Or at least as long as possible. We need to talk about one more real-life factor here. Time. And eventually, time gets everyone. And for different Pokemon, they have different lifespans. For example, Torkoal and Blastoise are turtles. They have extremely long lives. I mean, they can live to be over 150 years old. But Volbeat and Illumise, they're fucking fireflies who live like up to maybe, I don't know, 2 months.
They're bugs.
Every Pokemon in the game, all 386, live different lengths of time dependent on their species. And before you ask, no, Bulbasaur, according to Sugimori, is not a dinosaur. It's a frog and has the lifespan of a frog. The only problem here is who's gonna play this hack for 150 years? I won't even live for 150 years. That's just absurd. So time has been significantly sped up in the game, and lifespans have been scaled to roughly meet that gameplay criteria. That means that the Wurmple you caught in Petalburg Woods that you love so much, that is your best pal, your partner, it may only live for like an hour in-game. Also, a sick Pokemon may even live a shorter life than that. To help you track your days, a day and night system was also implemented. Oh, this is like spooky looking. This is like Halloween mode. But this brought up a new question. When do Pokemon sleep? Well, some Pokemon are insomniacs like Hypno and don't sleep. Some Pokemon like Hoothoot are nocturnal. And if you're not aware of your Pokemon's sleep habits, well, you're a bad trainer. And your Pokemon might be awful tired in battle and might need to take a quick nap.
This is stupid, but I think I can get past all of this if I just use the daycare and level up my Pokemon for free that way. Then they won't get old, they won't get Pokérus, they won't get hungry, and they won't hate me.
And to that I would say, very good, you're a smart little guy there, you are. I ought to give you a big noogie, because that's all true. However, what do Pokemon do in the daycare? That's right. Dirty, disgusting, filthy activities. You may leave your Pokemon with this sweet old couple, pick them up the next day, and find them itching, burning. Why did you fuck in the daycare? All because when you turned your back on your precious partner, your Pokemon caught an STD. I coded this. An STD will give your Pokemon a permanent burn, remove its ability, and spread STDs on contact in battle. Well, to any Pokemon except for baby Pokemon. Baby Pokemon can't get STDs because that's fucked up. So if your plan is still to level up your Pokemon to 100 just using the daycare, make sure it's why not. Why not is safe. Oh, on a similar topic real quick, all Pokemon genders are attracted to each other too, so like happy Pride Month and all that. And hey, did anyone see that video of Gordon Ramsay? The one where he like told everyone they need to wear a helmet and all that? Well, let's talk about bike safety for a minute. Hey, buddy, you are a wonderful weed here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in the front of the party because I would like to level you up. But before that, I want to make sure all of our Pokemon are healthy. So what am I gonna do but bike back to the Pokemon Center? Anywho, let's just head back there. AM, no! I must have just crushed AM in the Pokeball against my belly into the tree. Oh, fuck! I'm so sorry. What happens if we slam our bike into a wall with the egg in the front? It's just fucking dead. Does it not hatch? We gotta try to hatch it and see if it's dead. Hatches with brain damage. Okay. We slammed this Wynut's noggin into a tree before it was born. Of course, we're gonna name it after someone in chat. It's alive! Let's go! It's alive! Huh. Whoops. I just killed a newborn baby.